Artifacts. We have already discussed this topic in the past. Since then, creatures of Sonaria have released many more updates for artifacts. And this made the previous artifact video I created outdated, and it was time to toss it in a trash. Hence, we will make a new video explaining what artifacts are and how to obtain them. For easier navigation, I've marked each section in the video so you can find what you're looking for easier if you already have some prior knowledge. Now, enough with the boring video introduction and let's get down to the business. What are artifacts? According to Google, there are two meanings to artifacts. They can be objects made by humans that are typically cultural or historical in nature. In a scientific investigation or experiment, they can also be observed as a result of a procedure that isn't naturally present. So, how does this fit into the creatures of Sonaria artifacts, you may ask? Well, it doesn't really. You won't be able to Google it and it's completely pointless. However, do you remember these creatures? Well, we can actually assume that Wardens are the ones responsible for creating them. But that's for another video. Currently, there are 10 artifacts. Air and storm artifacts serve as sky artifacts, plant and earth artifacts act as land artifacts, water and sea artifacts represent aquatic artifacts, fire and volcanic artifacts represent volcanic artifacts, Warden's stone and Warden's jewel serve as Warden's artifacts. For each one of them to be obtained, certain tasks must be completed. But, before we dive into all the ways to acquire them, you might wonder why you need these artifacts in the first place. In games, artifacts usually enhance a character's status. However, we already have plushies that do that in creatures of Sonaria. So what is the actual purpose of artifacts? Well, creatures of Sonaria made artifacts for different purposes. Instead of improving your creature's status, it serves as a discount for obtaining certain types of creatures. The creature will receive a certain percentage of discount for each artifact. It is possible to stack artifacts so that they can cost as little as one mushroom. In addition, this is also the main reason why artifact creatures cost insane amounts of mushrooms at the beginning. As soon as you purchase the creature you want, the artifacts will disappear from your inventory. This means that you won't be able to use them again for another creature. There is a 2% and a 40% discount on each set of artifacts except the Warden's artifact set, where there is a 30% discount on the Warden's jewel artifact. As of the time I made this video, there are 13 creatures available in the artifact store. I won't name them because more are coming to the artifact store. Actually, one of them has already been announced, and it may arrive by the time this video is posted. Now that we know what artifacts are and why we need them, we can discuss how to obtain them. To obtain them, you will need to complete certain tasks, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Despite this, completing a task does not guarantee that you will receive artifacts. You see, the system is based on RNG. For my fellow cosplayers who don't know what RNG is, I'll briefly explain. An RNG is a random number generator. In a nutshell, it is like bingo. You choose the numbers you want to play with and pray to Wardens that you will get bingo. These types of systems are typically coded so that items, or in this case artifacts, have a % chance of being dropped. While we do not know what the percentage is for most of them, we do know for some of them. For a player, this all boils down to luck. You might get it on your first try or on your 100th try.
It wouldn't be exciting if you won every time.
Yes, it would.
With that, let's discuss tasks for each artifact. Air artifacts will give you a 2% discount and can be obtained in 3 ways. 1. Survive as a Tier 3 or higher flyer creature for 10 minutes or longer. 2. Grow a Tier 3 or higher flyer or glider creature to adult. 3. Fly as a flyer or glider creature for 2,000 to 20,000 studs. Each task is simple and straightforward. If you are not sure how many studs you made, you can check by selecting the menu, then creature status, and then clicking on survival stats. Under survival stats you can see how far you traveled. Do note that this doesn't just include flying but other forms of travel as well. Storm artifacts will give you 40% discount and can be obtained in 3 ways. 1. Spin for Sky Gacha. Each spin costs 150 mushrooms and will give you a 20% chance to drop a storm artifact per spin. 2. Grow as a Tier 3 or higher flyer or glider creature to age 100. 3. Nest as a Tier 3 or higher flyer. If you want to nest as a flying creature, you must select a female creature. Once in the game, your creature has to reach the adult stage to place a nest. Place your nest in the spot you choose by clicking B. If you are close to your nest, the eggs will automatically begin to incubate. The sniff ability can also be used to determine the range of your nest. It is possible to speed up the egg incubation process by sitting close to your nest by 1.5. You can also lay down and speed up the process by 2.5. In addition, you can equip an eggshell plushie to your creature, which will boost up the process by 1.5. Plant artifacts offer a 2% discount and can be obtained in 3 ways. 1. Nest as a Tier 3 or higher photovore or photocarnivore creature. 2. Grow a Tier 3 or higher photovore creature into an adult. 3. Eat food units. Earth artifacts will give you 40% discount and can be obtained in 3 ways. 1. Grow a Tier 3 or higher photovore or photocarnivore creature to age 100. 2. Kill an age 100 or higher photovore or photocarnivore creature. 3. Heal an injury. Water artifacts will give you a 2% discount and can be obtained in 3 ways. 1. Nest as a Tier 3 or higher aquatic or semi-aquatic creature. 2. Survive as a Tier 3 or higher aquatic or semi-aquatic creature for 5 or more minutes. 3. Drink water. Sea artifacts will give you 40% discount and can be obtained in 3 ways. 1. Spin for Sea Gacha. Each spin costs 150 mushrooms, and it gives you a 20% chance to drop a sea artifact per spin. 2. Grow a Tier 3 or higher aquatic or semi-aquatic creature to age 100. 3. Go on a murder spree as Magnesetus. I mean kill any creature as an aquatic creature. Fire artifacts will give you a 2% discount and can be obtained in 3 ways. 1. Nest as a Tier 3 or higher creature with a volcanic passive. To see if your creature has a volcanic passive, simply click on the creature and check the passive effects on the right side of your screen. 2. Survive as a Tier 3 or higher creature with a volcanic passive for 5 or more minutes. 3. Actually hasn't been discovered by the player base yet, even though it's been 3 months since the release. Or maybe there isn't a third way of obtaining a fire artifact? Volcanic artifacts will give you 40% discount and can be obtained in 3 ways. 1. Survive on a volcano island for 5 or more minutes. 2. Grow a Tier 3 or higher creature with a volcanic passive to age 100. 3. Heal the burn. The last on the list are Warden's artifacts. In contrast to the artifacts we have discussed so far, Warden's artifacts can only be obtained one way. Completing this task will guarantee you an artifact drop. The only thing you need to do is donate food to one of the Warden's shrines. There are 8 shrines in total and each needs a certain amount of food units to get your reward. After completing the shrine's donation, you can receive a boost, token, or pallet along with Warden artifacts. Warden Stone will give you 2% discount and as mentioned previously Warden Jewel will give you 30% discount on certain creatures. The following is a list of all the Warden shrines and the amount of food units it takes to obtain the artifacts. The Hellion Warden Shrine requires 50 food units. The Angelic Warden Shrine requires 150 food units. The Gara Warden Shrine requires 250 food units. The Verdant Warden Shrine requires 500 food units. The Boreal Warden Shrine requires 750 food units. The Aegean Warden Shrine requires 1,000 food units. The Novus Warden Shrine requires 1,500 food units. And the Ardor Warden Shrine requires 2,500 food units. Only 3 Warden Shrines will drop Warden Jewels and they are Aegean, Novus and Ardor Warden Shrines. The rest of the Warden Shrines will drop Warden Stones. And with that, we should have covered everything you need to know about artifacts. As usual, I will leave a comment if I missed something or made any mistakes. Thank you for watching and I will see you soon. Bye bye.